Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Storm and today is day 22 baked goods of my Review Tober series. This one's pretty simple. It's just Damien, Serial, and the kids from my Blind Bear AU. And for those who don't know, Damien is a demon based on black bears, and one of his hobbies is baking. He actually owns his own bakery from wherever he lives. Not so sure exactly where they live now compared to previously, but yeah, there's not a whole lot to this. It's just Damien frosting a cake with some cookies on the side that will be eaten soon after, probably, I can only assume, dinner or something or other. Cute little domestic moment. And in terms of what I use for this piece, it's nothing special. I just use watercolor for the base colors and then go over it with colored pencil later. Anyway, to jump straight into what I plan on talking about today, I am doing the Good Omens Love Letter series, and so we're continuing that with day 13. Favorite Good Omens location / safe place. At first, when I started this, when I originally read this prompt, I was a little confused, but I tried to answer it anyway. In terms of like my favorite Good Omens location, it would probably have to be Aziraphale's bookshop or the bench. The bookshop, you know, it's just so cozy and warm, and I imagine that all of the seats are super soft and comfortable. Aziraphale sometimes has music playing in the bookshop, so I imagine if I were lucky enough to even make it on one of the days that the bookshop was open, I imagine that he would have some music playing in the background for both himself, mainly for himself, but you know, that customers would be able to enjoy, and it would just be a super nice place to relax. I personally probably wouldn't buy anything from there. I mean, I wouldn't be able to even if I could, but I also imagine that the books are probably stupid expensive, considering the fact that they're supposedly antiques and first editions. They may or may not, depending on how Aziraphale markets his stuff, even though he doesn't want anyone to touch them, depending on how he markets his stuff, it's probably like 80, $100, pounds. I don't know the money very well for England, but it's probably super expensive. Or he, for whatever reason, would make it super cheap. I can also see that happening, even though that would make more people want to buy the books. Regardless, I probably wouldn't buy anything from there. Probably also because I don't even know if any of the books would interest me. But who knows? And just like in general, I can just imagine being there on a cold or raining afternoon, and I don't know. It would seem like a nice place to just sit and draw, sit and doodle in a sketchbook or something. Aziraphale would be there, and maybe, possibly, depending on the situation, we'd have a light conversation. Nothing too serious or heavy, but it would be nice. That, or he'd just straight up just kick me out. Probably because he doesn't want anyone else to be there while him and Crowley there, but you never know. But in general, it would just be like a nice and quiet afternoon. And then for like the bench, I like that one because I know it's a place that I would want to go and see one day. It's silly, but the videos of people the photos of people in cosplay going and sitting on the bench, it's so fun. I love it. I love it so much. It makes me really happy when I see those things, because I don't know, it's a real place, but the show just makes it so much sweeter and more interesting, especially considering the fact that it's literally just a bench. Nothing exciting about a bench, but it's everything. It'd probably be one of the most exciting things to see. Screw going to like a museum or anything. I want to go to the bench. I would have said something like the what is it called? The bandstand. But I would be super excited to see the bandstand, but I think there's a lot less happier memories or experiences to the characters tied to that bandstand, that I think I would just prefer the bench more, because it's something about it. There's something about it. And if I was there with my partner, maybe if we were together in cosplay, it would be super nice. We could just look out on the ducks and watch other people pass by. I would just be unreasonably happy about a bench. But yeah, that's day 13, favorite Good Omens location or safe place. Now I'm also going to move on to day 15, which is a positive impact that the fandom/series has had on me. And here I obviously don't list just one positive impact. But to begin, the show and fandom has done absolute wonders for me in more ways than I can count. But I think some of the most noticeable impacts that this fandom has had on me and the series has had on me is my art style, my personality, and my perspective on getting older or being older in general. Since I joined this fandom, my art style has grown exponentially, especially during the first few years of drawing Good Omens. Seeing people draw the characters as they kind of are in the show, but in a slightly stylized way, it pushed me to also want to draw in that semi-realistic, stylized, but also have a style to it, like draw in that way. It pushed me to get better at things like anatomy and coloring and my own art style. It pushed me to learn how to draw noses and come up with cool poses and draw hands and other stuff like that. It pushed me to draw things that I wasn't used to drawing. Compared to some of the other fandoms I was in at the time, like Sandersides, the characters aren't animated or anything, but a lot of people's art styles were pretty stylized. Not many people drew the characters as, in a semi-realistic way. Everyone was really stylized. And then also other fandoms like anime impacted my style. And so I basically drew how other people drew. I drew the characters how I saw them drawn in shows, which was very stylized, and not realistic at all. But seeing people draw these characters the way they drew them, it pushed me and made me want to draw them how I saw them. I actually, compared to any other fandom, I actually took the time to learn how to draw them. Previously, whenever I drew characters, I didn't really go out of my way to actually learn and dissect how the characters looked. But for Good Omens, I did. I literally made my own little character sheet for them. I didn't always 100% go by the character sheet, and a lot of things have been updated as my style has grown. But that was something I never did with any other character before. I actually took the time to learn how I wanted to draw these characters. And that has pushed me in other ways within my art style and just my art in general, and it's made me the artist that I am today. While also becoming and just being a better artist in general, I feel like Good Omens has also made me a better person. I wouldn't have considered myself a bad person before Good Omens. I would consider myself very kind. But I wasn't the most social. I wouldn't say that I'm super social now. I feel like in many areas when it comes to socially, I still struggle a lot. But Good Omens gave me a reason to push my own comfort zone, especially socially. I wanted to interact with people online. I got over my fear of interacting with people online. I took part in a few collabs. I attended virtual Ineffable Con once. I was quiet in chat, but I still played the games with people, and it's something I never would have done otherwise. Never would have done it otherwise. I also gained a friend or two. And I also ended up gaining the confidence to wear more than a sweatshirt. which I feel like Good Omens kind of helped because it pushed me in many ways to go outside of my comfort zone. I comment on people's posts more often now, which is, you may call me silly, but it is something I never did before. In fact, I was petrified to do that for the longest time. When I was first on the internet, I was petrified to comment anywhere on anyone's things, or even like people's posts. There was a point where I was on Instagram when I was younger that I was absolutely petrified to even like a post because I was terrified of being noticed. Even though I wanted to have, like, I wanted people to see my art, but I didn't want people to see me. Which is a crazy thing to think about, but it's how I felt at the time. But now I can do that with more or less, like, no issue. I mean, I still would consider myself an introvert and painfully socially awkward. Social interaction doesn't come naturally to me. But my passions for things has grown within this fandom, and my ability to be able to push myself further, it's helped me a lot. And also in general, when it comes to other things, the fandom has taught me so many things through their fanfics, through their art. I've learned a surprising amount from this fandom. This fandom has also showed me that life can get better. And that being older doesn't mean my life has to be boring and miserable. I never consider myself someone who's, like, depressed or anything, minus probably one time during the summer, but, you know, that's besides the point. I have never been super miserable or anything, but I never had an extremely positive outlook at getting older. Even when I was younger, I remember crying myself to sleep a few times because I wished I was still a kid. Even when I was only like 8, I still cried myself to sleep because I just wish I was still a kid. But now I'm excited to get older. There are so many older queers in this fandom, and like finding out that they have a full-time job, they're married or in a relationship, and they have kids and still are like some of the most active and passionate people within the fandom will always be mind-boggling to me. Because in real life, no one in my family is like that. Everyone is angry, depressed, and tired, and so tired. And so seeing people my parents' age happy and passionate about life, as well as being passionate about the show and interacting with it in such an active way, it's made me more hopeful about my own life. For once, the idea that I'm going to be becoming an adult, turning 18, it's not so dreadful anymore as it once was. I'm actually excited to get older because one day I'm gonna be like the many older people in this fandom. I'm gonna push myself to go to conventions. I'll be able to buy fandom stuff for myself and just stuff for myself in general. I hope to be able to hang out with fandom friends or just hang out with other people like me while still having a full-time job, and I will grow in character. My body will change. I'll have evidence that I've lived on this earth through wrinkles and laugh lines. Just evidence in general that my beautiful body has just lived on this earth. And I will still be as eccentric and happy as I possibly can be. That's the hope, anyway. I'm determined, really, I truly am. I'm determined to live this life and to live a life that is just mine. And I will do it while still being passionate about the things and people that I love. And that's just something that this fandom has taught me that I can do, that it is possible, and that I don't have to be like the many people in my life. I hope I'm not like the many people in my life, because they make life sound so miserable when I know that life isn't always so sunshine and rainbows, but life is beautiful. It is the chance that I have been given, though I never asked for it. The many people in my life, no one is as passionate as me. My life is filled with people who are really sad, and not that I can blame them for how they feel, I certainly can't. Looking at the situation that they're in, of course I can't blame them. But that's not the life I wish for myself. I hope that as I get older, there will be a point in time where I will be at my highest. I will be the most happy I've ever been. And this fandom has taught me that, at the very least, that it's possible. That it is possible. Which is something, it's the one thing that I know I really needed. Is just knowing and understanding that a life like that is possible. Because before, I didn't believe it was. Before this fandom, truly, I never really believed that that's a happy life after 18, when you have jobs and bills and rent and the stress of being an adult, that life can actually be happy, that life can be enjoyable. And I'm thankful for this fandom for teaching me that. That's pretty much all I have to say. If you liked this video, you can do all the YouTube things, as always. Also, I have commissions down below if you wish to get any from me. But yeah, I think that's about all I have to say. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you all in the next video, hopefully. Bye-bye!